Hi, I'm Pastor Nancy Benson Nicole, and this is Rhythm and Word, a weekly video devotional brought to you by Fourth Presbyterian Church in Chicago. And this is another week where we explore together what I consider to be my spiritual bookmarks, those experiences or people that have been foundational to me and to how I perceive or engage in ministry as a pastor, or how I am shaped or formed in my own personal faith. This week, I am mindful of the spiritual bookmark of giving life to the sacraments. And the nature of the sacraments coming to life in a very meaningful way comes to me through my experience of something called footsteps in faith. So walk with me, if you will. It was 2008, and I received the invitation along with another pastor colleague and an adult chaperone to mentor what would be a collection of 5 high school age students from around the state of Arkansas. I had been in ministry at Arkansas at the time, to engage in a program called Footsteps of Faith, where throughout the calendar year, we and these students would meet once a month to study each of Paul's letters. And that at the end of the calendar year, our summer would culminate in a 10-day trip, walking through areas of Greece and Rome and Turkey, following the footsteps of the Apostle Paul along the way. We went to Athens and Corinth and Ephesus and Patmos. And the stories that we read in these letters, Paul's experiences and his sailing excursions, all came to life in such robust ways through that experience, both for us to journey through ourselves, but also to see the experiences through the lenses of these young people, some of whom had never been on an airplane, much less experienced being in Europe and walking in these ancient lands. A part of the experience that we were charged to offer was to find a setting for having the Lord's Supper as our touring group together. And there had been a cohort that went our previous year that spoke very highly of sitting at the Acropolis in Athens and choosing that moment and that space to have communion. And the charge was set before us to find someplace special to engage in the sacrament. And so throughout our excursion together, the 3 of us adults, Kendall, Ashley, and I, struggled to really find what would resonate with our particular group and where the Holy Spirit might be leading us to break bread and pour cup. And so it wasn't at the beginning of the trip like the cohort passed. It was 2/3 of the time when we were in our trip together, still trying to discern where the Spirit would gather us. And as it turned out, it was in the place where we would least expect it to be. It was in the island of Samos, which was actually just a stop off for us to take a hydrofoil later on to the island of Patmos, where John would receive the vision, the apocalyptic vision that would inform his authorship of the book of Revelation. This island of Samos was our stop off. And it was an island along the Aegean Sea. And we, by happenstance, one afternoon, decided to go along the beach. And along the beach was a huge flat rock just at the edge of the shore where we could gather our things or maybe sit. And the 3 of us looked at each other and said, this is it. And so among the trinkets that we had gathered were small Grecian urns, not the real things, of course, replicas, but little souvenirs of these little vessels in which we could pour the cup. And at Samos was a small bakery where we could get a twisted loaf and have homemade bread or locally made bread to be able to break. And so we gathered those materials, we regrouped at the beach, and along the Aegean Sea, on top of that rock, was transformed the altar, the communion table, where the bread and the cups were aligned, where we stood around, and with the sea breeze, breezing its gentle air, the salt that you could taste in the air, and the beautiful lemon yellow rays of the sun landing on us. We broke the bread, we shared the cup, and it was as if we were transformed across time and space and standing with the ancients to receive the holy mystery, to taste and see the goodness of the Lord. It was in that experience at that moment that to be connected with the cloud of witnesses and the saints before us, both at once, both of those who had come before and also creating space for those who centuries after us may gather and experience the Holy Sacrament, could come alive in such a powerful way, full of love and grace and truth. That to me is a spiritual bookmark, experiencing what it means to commune with the saints across time and space, and how place influences how the Holy Spirit moves with us and holds company with us, has been a page in my life's journal to which I turn and reground and root myself to provide a sense of comfort and hope and blessed assurance. What might have been a spiritual bookmark for you in experiencing a sacrament? Was it baptism, the waters? Has it been an experience of communion that has been transformational for you? How has the bread and cup come alive in such a meaningful way? If it hasn't yet, I invite you to open your heart to pay attention to how it may, and may that serve as a resource to you in these difficult days and times as you continue to make note of your faith.